Okay,
You're
I don't know if
welcome.
Mr. Osteodile is here around. I understand that you really have a bad situation. Look, what do you think the Nigerian protesters need to do to prevail in the ongoing protests, for example? Please share with us briefly.
They need to harmonize. There is the need for them to harmonize. With the various interest groups. When they harmonize, there will be a central purpose for them to be able to present their charter of demands. Because for now, there is no unity of purpose. There are divergent, in short, there's a cacophony of voices. What they're agitating for here in the South, I don't want to begin to pick the states, are different from the demands in the South. And okay, of course, the protest is not going on in the Southeast, in the Southwest, and of course, in the North. So not until that is done, because one, it's not just enough for you to say, look, there is bad governance. I am hungry. Nothing is working. And then without articulating well your demands, at least you need to situate them in their correct perspectives. Like I said, what do you need now in the immediate? What is required?
Are you an entrepreneur struggling to stand out in a crowded market? Your secret weapon is your story. Discover how to make your competition irrelevant by owning your story. Want to learn more? Check out our signature program, Own Your Story, a 5-week training to reshape your narrative. The link is what you see on your screen, academy.aclasses.org/story. Now back to the conversation.
In the midterm, what? And then the long term, medium term, long term, what I expected. What do you expect the government to do for you? For example, we know the hardship. Without food, there is nothing you can do. That is why Jesus, when he saw the multitude, having stayed with him all day, and his apostles said, send these people away. He said, no, let us find something for them to eat. And he did feed them. One of the miracles, where he fed how many thousand just with 5 loaves and 2 fishes. So that is number one. Is it food? If it is food, how is this going to be possible for government to make food available or to drive down the prices of food items or items in the market? That is one. Employment is another. We know government cannot employ everybody, but government can provide enabling environment for industries, for investors, both local and foreign, to come in, put money, set up industries, companies that will employ. And how do we even do that? Energy is a major challenge. As I speak to you, the national grid for the 6th time or so this year has collapsed. And energy production has gone down from 2.5 thousand megawatts to a paltry 1,500 megawatts. And tell me, for a population of over 200 million, when the mosque in Mecca, the central mosque in Mecca, consumes over 18,000 megawatts of electricity per day. So it's a major challenge. Not until something is done to it. Thank God, the National Assembly, in its wisdom, has amended the act. So it has removed energy from the exclusive list to the concurrent list. So the ball is now in the court of the governors, who have a critical role to play, because they too, they are critical stakeholders, they are governors, they head the subnationals. What are they doing with increase in their allocations? So these are the things these protesters need to sit down, articulate. It is leaderless, and any protest, and that was how the NSAS products failed and degenerated. And that is exactly where this is going to. Only a few met Barrister Adegboruwa, senior advocate of Nigeria, and he has even pulled out. So you need to identify, the leaders need to identify themselves. They need to articulate their wants, their charter of demands, and then they need to conduct themselves well and to operate within the habits of the Constitution, which is the ground norm. Anything outside that is calling for chaos and anarchy. And no responsible government will sit for these arms while the house is burning.
Thank you so much for that, sir. If I some of the things that you made mention of there, actually we need further clarification, but of course that will be for another day. And maybe when you are relaxed, then we can talk about it. For example, looking at the move to make electricity, to take it away from the national, for the exclusive list of the federal government, because that have never made any sense. It cannot make sense. You cannot, the federal government cannot control everything. This Federal Republic of Nigeria. It's not, everything cannot be exclusive. Okay, things like the defense, the military, okay. But even the defense, in terms of policing, the federal government cannot police the entire country. It is not possible. Allow the state to police themselves. If you need security, you have men, put them out there. In Italy, where I live, there are different stratas of police, from the federal police to paramilitary police to the local police to the finance. Okay, we have custom. Because when it is like this, it becomes easier even for the Nigerian police force to monitor what is happening. Because you cannot be everywhere. Allow the people to take care of the thing that they can take care of. Now, in terms of energy, why would the federal government decide that he's going to provide light for the entire nation? Why would he do that? That is like just shouldering yourself with too much responsibility that you cannot handle. It should be, if the state want to remain, it don't want to remain in darkness, let them provide their own light. Of course, they will pay tax to the federal government, because the federal government, as it appeared today, at least from the way I see it, it's like Father Christmas. That is just dashing out money to the local government, to the state. Why? No, money should be coming to the federal government. Let the state have the possibility of generating their own revenue. If you say you can do it, go. If you don't want to die in poverty, generate your own revenue. Because I think the federal government system that we are operating is copied after the United States. But the United States, the states are almost like semi-autonomy. They have even the kind of different tax system, because they are semi-free. That is what I think maybe we'll still need in Nigeria. Each state need to have their own police. If they need to build energy, let them go ahead and build. If they need money, they can ask the federal government. But this should be maybe a law or a kind of a contract. It's not the federal government responsibility to provide life for the entire country. That is too much of a responsibility. Anyway, now there is another thing that actually came up in this demonstration that is sort of challenging for some people, which is the flying of Russian flag in Nigeria. Now, you are being the head of the National Orientation Agency. How do you feel about that? What is your take?
The thing is sad and shocking, because within the laws of Nigeria, that is treasonable felony. Yeah, because like some persons say, there's nothing wrong in it, because most five-star hotels or business premises in Nigeria fly, and even our churches fly the flags of other countries. That is a different scenario. So to me, as a person, as a former staff of the National Orientation Agency, it is condemnable. The act is condemnable, because we know that the country, Russia, that these persons are flying her flag, we know its antecedents, that it is a country that encouraged violent or undemocratic overthrow of sovereign or legitimate governments, as witnessed in Niger, Burkina Faso, and elsewhere in Africa. So by flying the Russian flag, it is indirectly inviting the country to say, look, we are tired, though, come to our aid. I'm happy that the Russian ambassador here in Nigeria has come to distance itself or the country from that. It is to be condemned by well-meaning Nigerians. Section 39 and 40 of the Nigerian Constitution guarantees every citizen freedom of movement, freedom of association, and freedom to protest. But in doing that, it must be done within the ambits of the law. It must be free. There should be no infringement on the rights of other Nigerians. If that happens, and it is being done in some states now, then definitely the police in these forces now, we need to step in to rein in these errant protesters. So my advice to them, actually, anyway, the particular section of the country, I don't mean any harm. When you look at the video, for example, who are these actually flying these flags? They are these persons or children you call almejiris. In short, they are homeless. They are not educated. They are only schooled in their Islamic or Arabic education to a reasonable level. But let me tell you that there is an unseen hand behind the flying of this flag, because you want to ask a question. What provoked it? How did they get the material? Imagine the speed with which these flags came out and the numbers, in their numbers, simultaneously in Kano and in Kaduna. So it's something to me that is premeditated. It's really an assignment for our security agencies. They need to unravel the powers behind, whether they are within or outside. And that is how it should be. Because it is an affront on our sovereignty. And that is it. We need to call a spade a spade.
Thank you for watching. Are you enjoying the video? Let us know in the comment section. My mission is to help professionals like you to own their story. What would I do for you, you might ask? Well, it helps you make your competition irrelevant. Want to learn more? Check out our signature program, Own Your Story, a 5-week training to reshape your narrative. The link is what you see on your screen. academy.aclasses.org/story. Now back to the conversation.
You can protest, but don't go beyond the boundaries as stipulated or as stated in the Constitution.
Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. That really should be what it is, because this is our country. The country is a sovereign nation. Even though it's a flag of the United States, we don't want it fly in a situation like this. You can't fly the flag of the United Kingdom or any other country in Nigeria. The only flag we need to fly right now is the flag of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, because we are saying we need a better country, Nigeria. It's not a better country to be invented. This is our country. We are defending this country so that the people of Nigeria can be treated better. So we are not saying let's destroy the country. You can't go to burn down the National Museum, for example, or to burn down the mosque, or to burn down the church. That is not what it means. What it means is that we are looking for a way to get better engagement, to tell the government that you need to treat us better. But if you are destroying something, then you will be ready for the forces. So that should be very clear. Now, how do you conclude this? Maybe in a very few sentences, what will be your final thought here?
My final thought is, from the way things are going, it takes two to tango. My doctor mentioned something about extravagance, reckless display of opulence by our leaders. We need to start from there. You can't, for example, talk recklessly, wallow in luxury, or luxuriate in luxury when the next person is hungry. He has no roof over his head. The children are out of school. He has no hope for the next meal. And then what you do is to pride yourself, buy exotic cars, renovate mansions with money that we don't have. Then definitely there must be reaction. So that is for the leaders. Then for us, the followers, because like they say in my community, Now the name where you teach people to call you, now then go they call you. It's like we have become so passive to a point of timidity. Like they say, if you sleep over your rights, you lose them. And that is exactly what has happened. Because you can't expect to do the same thing over and over and over again, and then you expect a different result. Then it means something is wrong upstairs. So with the followers, the masses, for example, need to actually do a rethinking, do a critical analysis of the situation. Haven't done that. Ensure by 2027, for example, it will be another election year. Those who were just sworn in yesterday here are preparing for 2027. And I ask it to shock you to know that their full soldiers are these same persons who are protesting. What an irony. And that is the truth. So why not say, oh, look, when chukuchuku too plenty for soup, blind man go no say not be crayfish. That is the point it has got to. We'll need to sit down and say, look, I don't want this time around, I want to register. If I've registered and I've not collected my voter's card, I need to do that. Protect, preserve, and protect it for 2027. For example, election is around the corner in Edo State. September 21, we're electing a new governor. We need to ask ourselves critical questions. Are things working well in Edo State? Are we where we ought to be as a state? See how old the state is. Our schools, public schools, what is the state? Health facilities, what is the state? Our roads, we have lands. We have been deceived over and over. Yes, farm here, farm there. Look at what some states like Niger State, Borno, look at what they are doing. With the little they have as allocations, they are investing heavily in agriculture. Why can't we do that here in Edo State? This should be the focus, the thinking of the electorate, the masses, so that on that day, that will guide their choice on who to vote for. It should be the same in 2027. There is a stone in the life of every Nigerian. When Jesus visited visited his friend's house, late Lazarus, Martha and Mary, when he got there, he prayed. He did not invite Mary and Martha to join him in prayers. After saying a short prayer, he gave a command, roll away the stone. It was after the stone had been rolled away, that was when Lazarus came out. We have stones that has eclipsed us. We have stones that has covered us. We need to roll these stones away. And who are these stones? Starting from the local government, our councillors, our supervisory councillors, our local government chairmen. There are stones that need to be rolled away. If you are not performing, you are not meeting up to the electorate's expectation, you can be recalled. If that is not possible because of some interest, what do you do? Wait for the next election. Because that is why democracy is good. It's the most popular form and choice of government. Because through the ballot, you can effect a democratic change of leaders. And that is what we should work towards. 2027 is around. If anybody in your own interest is not performing, do away with ethnic interests, primordial interests, religious affiliations, or political affiliations. What should be uppermost, like you said? Nigeria is my country. I must do everything possible within my means, ability, and capacity to ensure that Nigeria is great. And that should be uppermost in the minds of any Nigerian.
Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate you. I appreciate this sharing and this education that you share with us. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And be looking at Edo State, which you actually spend that good amount of time on. I think we people of Edo State, we need to understand that uh, this state that we call Edo State really have a huge potential. You see, when you look at Edo State now, you see that it extends to the River Niger now. You see, we can actually build in the River Niger now, at the River Niger, when you go to Ilushi area, we can actually build something fantastic there so that people will not need to travel anywhere. People of the state can go there on holiday. You see, where I live, which is Verona, there is a small lake here. It's called Lake Garda. Okay, not really a small lake, it's one of the biggest lake in Europe. That lake is controlling the economy of the entire, not only this region, because 3 regions actually are meeting up there. For this reason, they decide to invest in that. You see, I was saying the other day, why is Lagos such a smelly city? Because nobody thought it is. You know, the first time I went to Lagos, I stopped by in a place very close to Obafemi Awolowo Way. The water was green. It was so dirty that it became green. Then I was asking myself, but this is supposed to be the Lagos everybody is coming to. Since that time, I never really liked the city. But why can't we make Lagos the most beautiful part in this world so that the people of Lagos can enjoy it? So in the same way, when we go to Edo State, why can't you turn the River Niger, for example, that part of water that stretches our land, turn it into a resort? Because the water is there. Because that is a huge river. It's not a small river, not River Niger. I'm not using that one for example. What about Okpila? What about the stone? Now, in Edo State, anyway, there are somebody was telling me that the people that are actually controlling the stone, actually one of the places that they went to buy are the Chinese. And we're saying we don't have job for the people. This state is a significant state in Nigeria. Anyway, thank you so much for that. I want to thank you again.
Okay. Can I say something?
Please.
I just wanted to say
sir.
something. Yes, you see, for any economy, what we do in this country is running a mono economy. The economy is largely dependent, 99.9 dependent on oil revenue. Let me tell you that the discovery of oil in Oloibiri in the 50s, that was supposed to be a thing of joy that would have led us to El Dorado, has actually given us doom. Before then, in Kano, we remember, we had the granite pyramids. We had cotton too in the north. In the west, cocoa house was built by Awolowo for process of cocoa and coffee, which stretched to the then now Edo State, which was a part of the western region. In Edo State, we have oil, we have rubber, that for produce, agricultural produce. Then outside that, we have minerals. There is no mineral that is not in the soil under the ground in Edo State. Gold. Let me talk. I'm an Akoko Edo man from the northernmost part of the state after Auchi. As I speak with you, foreigners aided by traditional rulers are the ones mining gold in Ate and Dagbala in Akoko Edo. That is a waste. Now, number 2, when you're talking of tourism, during the reign of Obehi as military governor, he discovered Ososo in the same local government area and built a rest house because the weather in Ososo is almost the same with that of Jos. That is why in the heydays of Ajaokuta, when the Russians were there, every weekend, and that's why you have the highest peak, the highest rock in the state, that's Oruku Rock. The Russians built a helipad and tents on top of that rock. So every weekend you see cars and others, they are there. So what I mean to say is, not to talk of Somorika, the rocks of Somorika and all the rest. Why not further develop this so that tourists will turn the state into a tourist hub? Why not invest and put money into agriculture? Give the enabling environment for investors to come in. Give them land. What do you need? Land, security for them to prosper. So instead of building mansions, a politician building a mansion with 10 billion naira and celebrating it is madness. Real madness. Honestly, I think at times I imagine that our political office holders, both elected and appointed, they need to be re-examined. They need to visit the psychiatric, facility to get their health examined. Because you can imagine, even last year, as people were shouting of hunger, was it not the same period that our National Assembly members approved a whooping sum of 160 million naira to purchase exotic cars? Innocent motor is there that you can go and buy, like West African countries are doing. But they said no, that because the ones they are buying are durable from Japan. My brother, we know what to do. It's not that our leaders don't know what to do. It is having the will, the political will to do. Like they say, if all the roads are good, the hospitals are functioning, all the schools are top notch, what will the politicians campaign with in the next elections?
Right. Well, that is a good point. Only that is very limited for those of them that have that kind of mindset, because they didn't know that we need to also try to project how we're going to land our rocket in the moon. People are trying to plant their flag in the moon. We can't even plant our flag in Lagos. We are finding it difficult to even raise it on the top of the mountains in Edo State. So it's because of the lack of vision. I think Professor Ewanfoh have already spoken on that a lot. We need people that can dream, that can see the future, that can ask the question, what is going to be the position of Nigeria in the world in 2025, in 2030? Where are we going to be? Anyway, thank you so much, sir. All right. So, Mr. Faraday, please share with us what do you think is the best way to use social media in protesting? Of course, maybe looking at Nigeria again. Please share with us, sir.
Well, we've heard differently, most especially from the last speaker, and even in my former enumerations, we've analyzed how we can use, or how we have used, or how other countries have used social media, to guiding, good governance. Now, that even before the social media, with the conventional media, the government used to, clamp and push it to the public, whatever they want the public to know and whatever they want the public to hear. But now with the advent of social media now becomes an international platform. It now becomes the people's journalism. It now becomes a platform that cannot be, cannot be held by the mouth or controlled. The best word, that cannot be controlled by the government and by the oppressive people. Now, it's a platform where we can express ourselves. And I heard even during one of your enumerations, when you enumerated about how as the government or some people in government, have channeled our petroleum instead of selling to our refineries, and they sell it to refineries in Europe, which supposedly is their refineries, and they now sell it back to Nigeria. These informations were got through social media. So these are the positiveness of social media. We need to start using the social media to educate the people, to start bringing out the truth about governance, to start letting the people know exactly what is happening, so that the people can know, to start bringing out the ease of the society, to start writing and publishing things that are hidden from the people, so that the people can get awareness. And because and people will be updated. There is a saying that if you are not updated, you will be updated. The social media has helped people to be updated daily and weekly from the happenings in government and from the happening in institutions, and it has helped, in good governance.
Thank you so much for that, sir. Now, are there some challenges in using social media for, okay, we can just generally call it sensitization, because like you're saying, they are bringing information to the people, which sort of bring more education to the people. But are there challenges in using social media, maybe, for example, in Nigeria that you know of?
Yeah, well, yeah, definitely. There are negative, those are the negativeness of social media. As some people have used it to spread false information. And even the government have even used that, or even, let me not say the government, the oppressive people have even tried to use that against the social media. Because once you see something wrong in any particular platform or anything, you want to use it, even with our children. If our children does wrong, you want to use that to start controlling them. So most of those things, most informations that come from social media, they are not information that have been convalidated, and this information are spilled out, and this help to spread unwanted informations going out, and information that are not validated to go out, and it now becomes a sellout to the people, and this has not helped the effect of social media in guiding against oppressions and guiding against bad governance. I want to let people know that social media now is not an international platform, and social media help to power the people, to give power to the people in terms of social oppression, just like as it is now in Nigeria. Like I said before, through the social media, we've been able to find out that most of those things that were chilled out by the police and by the government were not true, and that we should try to use it in a positive way to help the people of Nigeria and to help get a good governance.
Right. That is the final word from Mr. Faraday Ebose. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And of course, I appreciate all of you that have contributed in this presentation. This has really been very educating and inspiring for the listener. And of course, all the recording of this presentation is going to be available on our YouTube channel in a couple of days, because of course, we need some time to clean them up and make them available for everybody. But of course, the message I think is clear, because we started with the mindset, looking at how our slavery and our colonial mindset is influencing us the way that we behave, because it's not just Tinubu that is the problem of Nigeria. Nigerians are the problem of Nigeria, because Tinubu didn't come from the sky. He's a Nigerian. He lives among the Nigerian people. He eats the Nigerian food. He lives among the Nigerians. So if the Nigerian people were clean, they will not get an unclean leader. That is essentially saying that we need to examine ourselves. We find, of course, the different well-meaning Nigerians here who spend their time. You see, they spend their precious time to come here and educate us. So we are not taking that for granted at all. So we appreciate each and every one of you, Professor Oluwafemi, Mr. Austin Odile, Dr. Ikechi Abuba. Mr. Austin Isikwemen is gone now because today is his birthday. And of course, Mr. Faraday, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. And of course,
I just a note.
Yeah, please, sir.
I also, in these discussions, I also want to thank you, for using your platform to give us such awareness. Like you said, Tinubu is not the problem of Nigerians. It's about the mindset of Nigerians. And also in diaspora, you can see that it has also been difficult, controlling Nigerians, and because most of our attitudes are the ones that are brought from home, to get it all and to make sure you override other people. So let us begin to work, with our mindset. Let us begin to work with the people of Nigeria, and let us begin to, have a very good mindset so that we can change ourselves and change Nigeria.
Thank you so much for that, sir. That is absolutely right. That is absolutely right. Because if we don't change our mindset, there is no way we can change anything. It's except maybe when we are good, that then we can become a reflector for other people. So that, like I was saying before, we need to be the candle. Let's light the candle. Perhaps we don't really need to force anybody to say, hey, come and see the light. The light is there. Those who need the light will see it and they will use it. Those who like the darkness, of course, they will remain in their darkness. But the important part, at least on our part, is to be the light. Let be the change that we want. So thank you again for each and every one of you. I appreciate you from the depth of my heart. Thank you very much. And of course, for the audience, those who have listened to this point in this conversation, we say thank you too. If anything have taught you here, if you learn anything here, if you have any impression, of course, why not? If you disagree, share with us in the comment section below. We want to know what is your take from this conversation. So thank every one of you. And of course, come again next time because we are always here bringing in people of value to bring you good value. So thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful time. Bye-bye from now.
Enormous